Welcome to Mia Alpha Television, where history comes alive. This is Crowned Origins, The Rise of Kingdoms, Episode 1, Ooni of Ife. Before the crowns, before the kingdoms, before the stories of kings and divine rulers, we must first understand the land. A land the world knows today as Nigeria, but Nigeria was not always called Nigeria. The name Nigeria was given during the era of British colonization, a time when the British Empire drew borders across Africa, merging diverse peoples into a single colony. Before that, this land was not one nation. It was a vast tapestry of civilizations, independent, powerful, distinct. Today, Nigeria is home to over 250 ethnic groups and more than 500 languages spoken across its regions. A diversity so rich, it is often called a nation of nations.
We bring greetings from our ancestors.
Among these, three stand as the largest and most influential. The Hausa Fulani of the north, the Igbo of the southeast, and the Yoruba of the southwest.
In unity, our traditions shine bright.
Our colors tell stories of our land.
From east to west, we stand as one.
Let our heritage guide us forward.
But today, our story leads us to one of these great civilizations, the Yoruba people. A people whose origins are woven with myth, divinity, and royal legacy. A people whose kings are not merely rulers, but sacred figures. At the heart of their story lies a throne unlike any other. A throne that traces its lineage to the very beginning. The throne of the Ooni of Ife. To understand the Ooni, we must begin at the origin of Yoruba cosmology. According to Yoruba tradition, the world began in chaos, covered in water, until divine intervention brought order. At the center of this creation story is Oduduwa, the figure credited with establishing life and kingship at Ife. Oral traditions describe Oduduwa descending from the heavens, bringing with him sacred authority and the foundation of governance. From this moment, Ile-Ife became not just a settlement, but a divine center, where leadership was believed to be ordained, not merely chosen. The title Ooni is one of the oldest in Yoruba history, representing more than political leadership. The Ooni is regarded as a custodian of sacred traditions, rituals, and cultural continuity. Unlike many monarchs whose authority was rooted in conquest, the Ooni's authority is rooted in origin, a lineage believed to trace directly back to Oduduwa himself. Over centuries, this position evolved into the spiritual and cultural anchor of Yoruba civilization.
By the power of the ancients, I invoke the spirits of our forefathers. Let the light of the gods shine upon this realm and protect our people. So it is decreed.
To understand the Ooni, we must journey back to the ancient city of Ife, the cradle of Yoruba civilization, a city where gods walked the earth and kings were born of legend. Here begins the story of the first Ooni of Ife, a story of courage, destiny, and divine authority. Born in a time when the world was still young, he would rise against challenges that tested not just his strength, but his wisdom and spirit. Before he claimed the sacred throne, he faced battles that would shape his destiny and trials that would define his reign. From humble beginnings to the pinnacle of Yoruba royalty, this is the story of the Ooni of Ife. One of the most notable conflicts in his tradition is the tension between him and Obatala. These traditions suggest that his emergence introduced a new structure of authority that influenced the existing arrangement of communities associated with Obatala. Over time, this shift in leadership is believed to have created tension between different groups in Ile-Ife. Some narratives describe this era as a prolonged period of rivalry and negotiation, during which neither side achieved complete dominance. According to oral history, this long-standing division was eventually eased by a major health crisis that affected the region. In its aftermath, a settlement was reached, leading to the gradual unification of the communities under a single political and spiritual framework associated with the Oduduwa lineage. This reconciliation process is remembered in cultural memory through annual traditions such as the Itapa festival, which symbolizes restoration and unity within the Ife heritage system. However, not all groups accepted this new order. Some factions resisted the emerging structure, and over time, certain communities are said to have migrated outward in search of new territories, where they later contributed to the formation of other Yoruba settlements along the coastal and surrounding regions. Despite these movements and divisions, Ile Ife remained central, retaining its identity as the spiritual origin point of Yoruba civilization. And so he rose, claiming the sacred throne of Ife, a throne that connected him to gods, ancestors, and the future of his people. The Ooni was not just a ruler. He was a symbol of divine authority, cultural heritage, and the continuity of the Yoruba legacy. From Ile Ife, princes and descendants spread across the region, founding new kingdoms. These included powerful states such as the Oyo Empire, the Kingdom of Benin, Ijebu, and other Yoruba polities. Each of these kingdoms maintained a connection, culturally or symbolically, to Ife. This network of royal lineages reinforced the Ooni's role as a spiritual unifier, even as political power shifted to other regions.
Here, I establish a new kingdom of strength and unity. On this rock, I build a foundation of prosperity. By this river, my kingdom will flow with wisdom. On these shores, our legacy meets the horizon.
To understand the Ooni is to understand a civilization, a people, and a legacy that stretches back to the very dawn of Yoruba history. This is the beginning of a story, of kings, gods, and a throne that has shaped the destiny of a people for centuries. While empires rose and fell, the Ooni remained a constant figure, preserving tradition, guiding cultural identity, and maintaining sacred authority. In pre-colonial times, the Ooni's influence was deeply embedded in religious and ceremonial life. During colonial rule, traditional institutions were challenged, but not erased. Instead, they adapted, retaining relevance within a changing political system. Ile Ife, widely regarded as the cradle of Yoruba civilization, is situated in present-day Osun State, in southwestern Nigeria. Osun State, created in 1991 from the old Oyo State, is home to a population of over 4 million people, predominantly of Yoruba heritage. Historically, this region sustained itself through a combination of agriculture, trade, and skilled craftsmanship. In pre-colonial times, wealth was generated from the cultivation of staple crops such as yam, cassava, and palm produce, alongside vibrant local and regional trade networks. Artisan industries, particularly bronze casting, beadwork, and textile production, also played a significant role in shaping both the economy and cultural identity of the people. In the modern era, Osun State's economy has diversified. Today, key sources of revenue include agriculture, especially cocoa, cassava, and palm oil production, alongside public sector employment, small and medium-scale enterprises, and cultural tourism. One of the most notable attractions is the Osun Oshogbo Sacred Grove, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that continues to draw visitors from around the world. Yet despite these changes, the region remains deeply rooted in its traditions, and at the heart of it all lies Ile Ife. These are present-day views of the palace of the Ooni of Ife. The current Ooni is the 51st ruler and ascended the throne on December 7, 2015. This marks the end of crowned origins, the rise of kingdoms, the Ooni of Ife. For more powerful stories on the rise of kingdoms, subscribe to our channel and don't forget to like, comment, and share.